Okay, so today we're doing a deep dive on the Kramer WP-SW2-EN7. And I have to say, that model number, it sounds less like a product and more like I don't know, a randomly generated password.
It really does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
But
I
if
know.
if you strip all that away, what you're really looking at is a dedicated on-ramp for the whole AVU over IP world.
An on-ramp, I like
Yeah,
that.
it's a 4K encoder and a switcher, all disguised as, well, a standard wall plate.
And that wall plate part is key, right?
Yeah,
I'm picturing it now. It's a 2-gang unit, so it's that double width size you see in conference rooms.
exactly. But it's not just a simple pass-through. It's not just extending a cable.
So it's actively,
Well,
digitizing the signal right there in the wall.
right at the source. It's the bridge between the physical you plugging in your laptop and the digital network stream.
You've got an HDMI and a USB-C input on the front.
Yep. You plug in, and this little box immediately encodes your screen to stream over a standard 1 gigabit Ethernet network.
So this isn't some kind of balloon just pushing electricity down a long wire. This is a proper network node.
Precisely. And that's a really important distinction, especially when you think about scale. Because it's an encoder, that stream it creates can go absolutely anywhere on the network.
Okay, let's talk about video quality, because when you hear streaming, you immediately think of compression artifacts. The spec sheet says 4K at 60 hertz.
It does do 4K 60, but there is a little nuance there. At 60 hertz, it uses 4.2.0 chroma subsampling. So basically, it compresses the color information just a little to save bandwidth.
Okay.
But if you drop the refresh rate to 30 hertz, you get full, uncompromised 4.4.4 color.
Which for a PowerPoint slide or a spreadsheet in a meeting is a trade-off that I imagine most people will never even see.
Exactly. Kramer calls their compression visually lossless, but honestly, the metric that you, the user, will actually feel is latency.
Right, moving the mouse around, the sheet lists it at 33 milliseconds end to end. I mean, that sounds fast, but
It is. For context, that's about the time it takes for a single frame of video to display at 30 frames per second. It's fast enough that it feels instant. Plus, the switching time between inputs, say, from your HDMI to your USB-C is only about a second.
and do I have to be pushing buttons on the wall to make that swap happen?
You can, but you shouldn't have to. It has a last connected mode. So if you're presenting and I walk up and plug in my laptop,
It just takes over.
it sees the new active signal and automatically takes over the stream.
Now, for the facilities managers out there, this is where it gets interesting. Installation. Active electronics in a wall usually means hiding a power brick.
Not here. This is a PoE device.
Power over Ethernet. So one single network cable for the video stream,
Yeah.
all the control data, and the power.
That's the one. It pulls its power, about 37 to 57 volts, straight from the network switch, no electrician needed.
That is elegant.
It is. There is an optional 20-volt DC input, just in case your network switch isn't PoE capable. But that kind of defeats the purpose of the single cable run.
Okay, but we're putting this on the corporate network, so we have to talk about security. AV gear can be, well, a pretty soft target sometimes.
It's a huge concern, and a valid one. But this isn't consumer-grade stuff. It supports 802.1x authentication.
Which means the device literally has to prove it belongs on the network before the switch even gives it the time of day.
Exactly. And beyond that, you have HTTPS for the web management, and crucially, AES 128 encryption on the actual video stream itself.
So no one can just plug a packet sniffer into a random network jack and watch the CEO's confidential quarterly report.
They cannot. It's locked down.
That's a huge differentiator. And it also handles high-end audio, right? Dolby Atmos, DTS HD.
Yep, it can embed unbalanced analog audio or pass through all those advanced formats, keeping everything perfectly in sync.
And it seems like users are pretty happy. I'm seeing a 4.7 out of 5-star rating. Buyers are praising the service and, more importantly, the reliability.
Yeah, that's the set it and forget it promise. That's what you want from infrastructure. It just needs to work.
It really makes you think, though. A device like this makes the network the only cable that matters in a room. As this tech gets more reliable, as latency drops to basically nothing. Are we seeing the last days of the big, dedicated video matrix switcher? Are we moving to a world where everything is just an IP packet?
That is certainly the trend to watch.
Something to think about. Thanks for listening to this deep dive.